Hey everyone, my name is the Theme Park Evangelist. So, I am using a completely different computer this time to do my YouTubing with. And the reason why is because, ironically, the computer I normally use, which is my own personal one, I forgot to charge. I was using it last night and I had forgotten it was down to the high 20% area. And of course, I was like, oh, oops. So I just suddenly remembered when I went to go YouTube this morning that I had forgotten to plug it in overnight because I was so tired last night. I slept for 11 hours last night. I have been so tired because I worked at Perfect North for 6 days straight last week, so Monday through Saturday. And then come Monday, I end up going home early. I ended up going to bed early, and then, well, I took a nap and I went to bed early on top of that. And then yesterday, I went through my entire shift, and then I left Katie's place early-ish, but I ended up staying up a little later watching YouTube, and then I crashed about 11, and I slept for, let's say, 9 hours, and then I got up, used the bathroom, went back to bed for another 2 hours. I mean, I didn't fall asleep right away, maybe within 5-10 minutes, but still. At first, I was like, no, come on, David, you can do this. So, uh, I am actually using a computer downstairs, and I'm just going to have to sign into my YouTube account, and since this is not my own personal computer, I'll just make sure it gets deleted after I get it uploaded. So, anyway, I'm going to do two different YouTube videos today before I go ahead and get ready for the day. And the first one I'm going to actually be talking about is I'm going to be discussing uh, basically the history of my YouTube channel, how it's grown from where it used to be to where it is now. So for those of you who are not familiar, excuse me, with my YouTube channel, I actually joined YouTube as just a regular YouTuber, believe it or not, back in 2009, May 31st, believe it or not, so right around Memorial Day, and I believe I had joined it when it first came out. I was like, oh, this looks neat, so I created a free account, and I just left it as is for several months. And then right around the time I first started going to Candlelight and downtown Lake Wales, that's as much as I'm going to say about that. I started watching America's Got Talent, and they started doing the whole YouTube video thing. Like, you could do a YouTube audition for America's Got Talent. Talent. You know what? Let me have some water really quick. Let me pause this so I can have some water. That's what happens when you've only had coffee all morning and not water. I usually have a ton of water by right about now. So, anyhow, I thought it would have been really cool to do a rapping video. That's all I thought I could do at the time. I was in my teens. I thought I was like the coolest person ever at the time. I think I'm the coolest person now, but I'm sure there are people cooler out there than me, but then again, I've come a long way. So, I started telling everybody about it in high school. I was like, guys, I submitted a rapping video for America's Got Talent, and I got into this crazy idea. And because they were so kind, they started encouraging and making me believe I actually was. And so I started getting into my head. And I even went as far as changing my YouTube channel name from Mr. D Dunbar 4 to, or, well, my handle really, to Dave the Rapper, believe it or not. And that was my YouTube channel name for a very long time. I was known as Dave the Rapper, and I ended up having 50 subscribers. I was mainly subscribed to by classmates, teachers, And I just thought that was so hysterical that people really love me to death just because of that. Then I got tired of the whole rapping thing, so I started using my imagination. I've been a creative guy for a very long time, but more recently I have become more left brained, so I've really gotten to the logical side, but I still have retained that creative side of me. I'm a very creative person. I can literally come up with a story on the spot. I probably could become an author if I really want to. And believe it or not, I actually do have an outline, or I do have a story going for a book I was going to type up and I was going to get published. And I already got permission. It was going to be called, sorry, Life of Asperger's Syndrome. It was going to be from my perspective, believe it or not. And I never did it. I just got too distracted and I became more focused on the YouTube channel, and I eventually started ignoring the constant emails from the publishing companies that they just stopped contacting me. But anyway, the reason why I got so good at writing is because I first started learning how to write really well in middle school, and I ended up being very thankful for that come college because I had professors that took the whole writing thing very seriously. And I had one professor, believe it or not, I literally turned in the paper to have him just look at it, and he balled it up in my face and said, "This is what I think about your paper." And I was the only one being treated like that. And I even told him, "Excuse me, but I've had an actual offer," and this was another professor, by the way, who absolutely loved my paper, and he goes, "Well, that's nice, I don't like it." And ironically, I thought this professor and I were friends, because 9 times out of 10, we were friends. But I never liked that guy for my English classes whatsoever. He was kind of a jerk, to be honest. So, yeah, more or less, it was between 2011, 2012 to 2013. I got into that creative side. I started just telling stories, and I kept about the same amount of subscribers. I might have had 35 during high school. I don't remember. I think I gained another 15, and I started doing some gaming YouTube videos because I remember there was a couple of times that my high school best friend came over, and I uploaded a couple of those YouTube videos. I also remember I was really into the horror phase at the time, and I had a camera sitting on a shelf filming me playing the House 2, which was a click and point horror game. It's actually free to play online. I wouldn't recommend it. It's actually kind of terrifying, and it's only for 14 and older or whatever. I personally feel like it's terrifying. I know Katie would be terrified by it. I can't handle it anymore. It scares me just to watch it on YouTube. But I actually did film myself. The only reason why it didn't bother me as much at the time is because I had Kate right there with me. So, it was back around 2014 that I started looking into my YouTube channel going into a different direction. Because let's be honest, my YouTube channel was pretty blah back then. So I started watching this guy called TheTimTracker. Now the guy's got to have at least 1 million subscribers. I haven't checked recently, and the only YouTubers I watch actually currently these days are Eric, Ryan Trahan. Mr. Beast is my favorite by far, and I also watch another guy called Pete Z, and of course another guy I watch every now and then, Simon Wilson. So those are the YouTubers I do like to watch on a regular basis now. Some of them are traveling YouTubers. I haven't really watched the whole theme park ones as much recently, and that's actually the current direction my YouTube channel is heading, is just all about traveling. And don't get me wrong, I'm still all about the theme parks because that's actually the whole premise of my YouTube channel in the first place. But not living in Central Florida has forced me to change the direction of my YouTube channel, but still keeping it to the theme park vicinity. So I'll get there eventually. So anyway, the Tim Tracker seemed like a cool guy at the time. He was just married to some woman named Jen, and they were hitting up theme parks. They didn't have any kids at the time, and I was like, oh, this guy seems really cool. So I started binging on him, and I became a Universal Orlando pass holder in early 2016. I'm not going to go into the story or anything because it was actually kind of a slap in the face to my cousin, and I didn't ever intend for that to happen. It was just called my cousin Kristen was in town from Washington State, and sadly enough, this was the last time I saw her. And I was kind of glad in some ways that I did go because goodness knows, I don't even know when I would have seen her last. And as mad as he got with me, in some ways I'm kind of glad I did go just because it's been 8 years now since I saw her last. But like I said, I don't want to go into it, so um, I became a Universal Orlando pass holder around that time frame, and I just started going all the time, and I had just met TJ. So, for those of you who do not know who TJ is, I talk about him a lot on my Facebook page too. So, TJ is a close friend of mine. I was just working at Publix supermarkets and going to Polk State College. It's a state college down in Central Florida in Polk County, and I was honestly struggling for money. I really was. And I was like, there's no way I can keep going at the pace I'm going. And there just happened to be an announcement that a Steak and Shake was coming to Winter Haven, Florida, which was not too far from where I was living at the time, which was in Lake Wales. I don't mind mentioning that now because I don't live there anymore. And I told my mom, and she was like, oh yeah, go for it. So I went to go apply. This is an interesting story because it relates to TJ, so I don't mind sharing this. So I started looking around to find out where I'd apply, and I heard from a customer at Publix, the one by Legoland, where I used to work, that you had to go inside of Giovanni's New York Pizza in Winter Haven. And I was like, why there? And they said, well, apparently the owner owns that, the Steak and Shake, and they kept going down the list. I was like, okay. So I went over there. So to make a long story short, I got the job, and let's just cut to December. So it's been about a week or two now, and I come in for training, and I originally was hired. You know what? I need some more water because I have to keep constantly clearing my throat. Give me a second. All right, I've officially emptied the entire water bottle. I am proud of myself. So, yeah, I was originally hired as a not a cashier. I'm sorry, a host and a waiter. And on my very first day, the very first question they asked was, "Who wants to learn the fountain department?" And I immediately rose my hand. I thought that would have been the coolest job ever. Like, wow, I would absolutely love to work, in an area where you make milkshakes. I absolutely love Steak and Shake, always have. I always thought it would be so neat to make those milkshakes, so I immediately started working there and learning how to make milkshakes all day. We had corporate over there. I came in the very next day, super excited to learn more, and they said, we're moving you to the dishwashing department. My heart sunk. And instead of just throwing in the towel, I actually just went along with it. I was like, okay. And right there in the dishwashing room was TJ, believe it or not. The dude was so introverted when I met him. I mean, he literally hovered over a sink. I introduced him to my brother right off the bat because guess what? My brother started working there right around the same time. because my mom said he had to at the time. But my brother is doing a lot better in life than he was 10 years ago. Or 9 years ago, whatever. We'll just go with that. So, but on the other hand, I'm doing better than I was, but at the same time, some people would say otherwise. It just depends. In some ways, I feel like I was doing better then, and I wish I was still doing just as well, because now I got a woman to take care of, and it's frustrating. But God will get me through this. I know He does. So, I just started being nice to this guy, and it took a long time and a lot of effort, but God was telling me that this guy was worth pursuing. I could hear God telling me, pursue this guy. And fast forwarding a long time, I started inviting him to go to Universal with me, and then on Sunday, December 4th, 2016, we were going to Universal together, and we were, oh, don't mind the cat. He just wants to come and sit on my lap. And I did not mean for that to rhyme. So, we were just walking down towards City Walk, and I just randomly turned towards TJ, and I asked him, you remember the TimTracker? And he goes, yeah. And I said, wouldn't it be neat if I started being like him? He's like, yeah, it would be. And I was like, should I start vlogging too? And he's like, go for it. And I just pulled out my phone and I went for it. I had no idea that this was going to become more than just a hobby, a passion of mine, and a regular thing. I may not vlog every day like I wish I would, but I do vlog on a weekly basis. Unfortunately, as I've gotten older, I've also noticed that I've had to work more. I've also, the last thing I expected was to fall in love, get engaged, eventually get married. Those were things I never contemplated years ago. So, I mean, yes, that's how my YouTube channel started, but I'm sure you guys would like to know kind of what led to from me being at 50 subscribers to over 300. Well, I'm going to mention some key highlights. This cat keeps knocking the laptop, I'm sorry. So I had to, unfortunately, nudge him off. So, obviously, I started the YouTube channel late in 2016. So, 2017 was an interesting year. So, I'm only going to mention highlights. We're not going to obviously go over every single thing that happened on my YouTube channel in detail. We'd be here for a month, and we don't want to have a 1 month long YouTube video. So we're only going to talk about highlights. That shouldn't take as long. So TJ decided for his birthday in 2017. We knew each other well enough by now that he wanted to do something special with me. And we made this plan to do a staycation. So the trip basically was a day at Disney, at the parks, another day at the water parks, and then he was planning on inviting me to a baseball game, but I was like, I don't know about that. So we did a lot of those kind of things. We even did a day at Old Town. And I believe it was our very first night. We were on our way to our motel, and we almost got hit, and, as we like to put it, died, because somebody wasn't paying attention. It was right there on 192. It was pretty scary. And it was that very first staycation that we actually wrote Frozen Ever After for the very first time. And a lot of good things came out of 2017. Like, I showed Frozen Ever After for the first time on YouTube. I showed Pandora World of Avatar for the first time on YouTube. A couple days before, I showed Volcano Bay for the first time on YouTube. I ended up getting permission from my professor to skip college just to show it on YouTube. And then a month prior to that, even actually, no, I didn't have college that day. That's right. I was already done with college. No, that's right. It was back in early April. I had permission from the college professor. I had permission to skip class to go attend the grand opening for Race Through New York, starring Jimmy Fallon. I had already been going to the soft opening, but I really wanted to be there for the grand opening. And I did make up my homework. That was the best part. It's not like I just skipped class and didn't say I was not coming. I emailed my professor in advance. I let her know I wasn't going to be able to make it. I didn't say why. And she said, yeah, that was fine. And guess what? I still got an A in the class. So that was hilarious, in my opinion. 2018, I showed Fast and the Furious Supercharged on YouTube channel, or my YouTube channel, and as I was coming off, this person literally went up to one of the team members and started cussing them out. I thankfully was not filming at the time, because I would have had to immediately edit that out. It's been hard keeping this YouTube channel G-rated to the best of my abilities. I mean, I can't help the swearing every now and then, like, not from me, but from just people in the background. Just because of the fact that not everybody who is in the background, I can genuinely say, either A, care, or B, are paying attention to the fact that there's a Christian filming this YouTube channel. So I always do my best to keep this as G-rated as possible. There have been times when people have flicked off my camera, and I've had to edit that out. I have editing capabilities that would be too complicated to share. But yes, I have had to edit out things. I've even had to mute out stuff. I mean, I'll do whatever it takes to keep this YouTube channel G-rated. I can't catch everything, but I do my best. And it's been tough. 2019, obviously, the biggest thing for me was moving here to Kentucky. It was definitely something else to move all the way from one state to another state, and it was expected. I mean, I had known about it since August of 2017, and I was very excited about the opportunity to move all the way up here, and I've actually started showing concerts on my YouTube channel since, I think, 2017, if not 2018. I've shown Billy Joel. Obviously, when I first started, actually pausing there for a second, when I first started showing concerts, I wasn't very good. I was only showing like bits and pieces. As I got better, I started being able to show the entire concert all in one shot. And now I've gotten to the point where I can be like, okay, I'm going to do one vlog just of the concert, and I'm going to do another vlog of just the parks, and they're going to both be uploaded on the same day, if not overnight into the next day. So I have the editing features that I need. I've been using CapCut for over a year now, and it's still free, and it's worked beautifully for me. I absolutely love CapCut, and I really hope that they don't start charging for it. I get tired of the constant notifications for it, especially when I'm at work, and I have to go into the actual app and clear it. It's kind of frustrating in that sense, but otherwise, it's a great app. So that's how I've been doing a lot of my editing there. And then, of course, it allows me to upload it to YouTube afterwards. So anyway, that is one of my secrets. 2019 is when I also started, going back to 2017, I did vlog the last night of joy, but yeah, 2019, I vlogged Newsboys Live United. That one was a huge one for my YouTube channel. 2020, I really didn't have anything other than I went to Central Florida by myself for the very first time as a Kentucky resident, and I showed the Crystal Palace and the Skyliner for the very first time. And that was the last time that I went to the Strawberry Festival, or that was the first time, maybe not the last time, but it was the first time I ever showed the Strawberry Festival on my YouTube channel. And it was pre-pandemic, so everything was normal, which was really nice. And I need to really be careful about how long I keep those YouTube videos, because that one was over an hour, as crazy as it is. And then 2021 was the very first time I had ever shown Star Wars Galaxy's Edge on YouTube, and I was super excited about that opportunity. I don't remember too much going on in 2021. 2022 was also a pretty big year for me. Obviously, that was when I fell in love, met Kate. Well, I had already known Katie since 2021, but I had already, when I first started dating her. That's also when I made my very first trip out to Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg. So that was the very first time I ever started showing that on YouTube. Also, I went back around Christmas time and I got to show it again at Christmas. And then, what else happened in 2022? I believe that I had my second solo trip to Central Florida. Actually, 2022 was one of the bigger years for my YouTube channel, because I didn't just go once, but twice down to Central Florida. So I went once in February, which, honestly, the trip overall sucked, and I was very disappointed about it. And then, I mean, there were a couple of good things that came out of it. And then I went again in September, and that one was a much better trip. And the highlight of that one was showing Cosmic Rewind and the Food and Wine Festival for the first time in 4 years. And then you come into 2023. 2023 had some interesting highlights, like taking Katie to Central Florida for the very first time. I absolutely love doing that. And then 2023, I also showed Eastern North Carolina for the very first time on YouTube, and then Western North Carolina for the first time on YouTube. For those of you who do not know, Mr. Beast is not the only one from North Carolina. My fiance is from North Carolina. So I have more than one reason to go back to North Carolina. And obviously the joke, that's a joke. I'm not going to go hunt down Mr. Beast. I would love to, but no, I don't want to creep him out. I actually watched an Airrack video last night, and he admitted that he intentionally drives around with tinted windows because he does not want to be bothered. So I don't blame him. Hey, I have tinted windows too, but not for the reason you think. Actually, when I lived in Central Florida, it was so hot all the time. I was trying to prevent as much heat getting into the car as possible. And it was actually TJ who gave me the recommendation to get my windows tinted for only $100, believe it or not. And I don't know where I would go to get my windows tinted again, but it can get hot up here too. And the tinted windows have honestly worked beautifully for me. And that's the only reason why I have tinted windows, is to keep the majority of the heat out of the car. The only time I don't like the tinted windows is during the winter. But honestly, this winter has been very mild. But normally it can get very cold up here. But anyway, yes, my fiance is from Eastern North Carolina. She actually used to live only 45 minutes away from where Mr. Beast lives. And we had met up with her parents in Western North Carolina, not too far from Asheville. And that's where we had our engagement at. And also another nice thing that came out of last fall was Katie and I went back to Pigeon Forge in Gatlinburg, and I got to show everything all over again for Christmas. But we got to do more, and I got to show Dollywood for the first time for Christmas. So I thought that was really neat. And I even got to show the Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies for the first time on YouTube for Christmas. So, I mean, there was a lot of good things. So, coming into 2024, right now, the big highlights I'm pushing first and foremost in 13 days. I am leaving again for Central Florida by myself again. And I am big time pushing Flower and Garden. Um, let's see here, what else? Oh, yeah, Moana Journey of Water. I haven't shown Flower and Garden in a long time, years. I'm also going to be showing Boma for the first time on YouTube. Last year I showed Ohana for the first time on YouTube. So I figured take it up another notch, show another Disney restaurant. I doubt I'll get on the Skyliner again. I did get to show Katie last year. If it happens again. It would be hilarious. Knowing TJ, he'll be like, oh, David can't come all the way down here if I'm riding on the Skyliner. I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. But also, I believe the other big highlight is the Strawberry Festival. Gotta go do that again. I mean, come on, it's been 2 years. And, um, you know what's hilarious? I have it all typed down, but sometimes I still forget. I can't, and I think a lot of it is just, I'm trying to think under pressure, and I'm just like, oh my. That's why I would never be good for Family Feud. Because I would not be able to figure things out under pressure. I'd be like, oh no, I need time. Like, no, you don't get that. You get 5 seconds. Like, ugh. So, yeah. If I actually took my time or I actually had it written down in front of me, like, oh yeah, like, how could I forget that? I've been planning this trip for months now and I'm already forgetting. What else is a highlight? You know what? Let me pause this again. This might help me. So I don't think there is a whole lot of highlights to my YouTube channel this year other than Boma, the Strawberry Festival, Epcot. Of course, I'll be writing Cosmic Rewind for the first time with TJ. I've never done that before. Going to be showing the very first Raising Cane's on YouTube. They just opened another location yesterday in Kissimmee. I don't know if TJ and I are going to go to the one in Orlando or the one in Kissimmee when I go down there. I'll have to ask him which one he wants to go to. Because there's one not too far from Orlando, or from Universal, but there's also one that's right there, right off of 192. So I'll have to ask him and see which one he wants to go to. I honestly forgotten that there was another Raising Cane's coming. And obviously, when I go down there, I will make sure that I put in the title, checking out the first Raising Cane's or checking out the brand new Raising Cane's in Kissimmee. Just depends on wherever we go, because now that there's two of them, and there's a third one on the way, believe it or not, coming to Daytona Beach now. So they're growing like weeds, like Publix is trying to grow like weeds up here. They're still in the process. We got our first one in Louisville. We're going to get another one eventually in Walton, Kentucky, which is only 7 miles from me. And we have more coming to Louisville and Lexington. So they're coming. They're just taking their time. And I can't wait for that to happen. I had thought about vlogging at the Creation Museum this afternoon, but it's such a beautiful day out, and I got the time, and honestly, my car hasn't been cleaned out in months, and I want to get it done, so I'm actually going to be doing that this afternoon. It's just taking my time, getting my car cleaned out, making it look all nice, because I'm tired of having a junk pile in my car and having it trashed up, so I'm going to finally get it done. If I have the time, I'll go over there this afternoon. That would be fun. Show everybody how it looks currently with them just getting it ready for the spring season. We're almost there. It feels like we're not, but we are almost there. I can definitely tell Perfect North is getting close to the end because they have not been able to make any snow, so they're just hanging on the best they can. But they are staying busy. That's the impressive part. I mean, they are staying busy when they have no kids. Or sorry, well, let me start over. When the kids are out of school, and they are staying busy in that sense, but when the kids are in school, it's a little slower. I expect this coming weekend to be very busy. I am still praying for them to get some colder weather so they can actually make more snow, because that will help them immensely, because that's what they need right now, is to be able to make more snow. So, anyway, I have really enjoyed talking about my YouTube channel. But if you are interested to hear how many subscribers I have currently, I am at 375. And believe it or not, I don't make any money off of you guys whatsoever. You subscribe to my YouTube channel means a lot to me in the sense that I know that I have people just watching on a regular basis. If you stayed around this long, it means a lot to me that you guys just watch my YouTube channel. The fact that you're telling your friends, your family about me, or other people that you might know, it means a lot that people actually do take the time to watch my YouTube channel, and that you guys actually do want to, help my YouTube channel to grow, because I want people to save money. I do want people to have other YouTubers to watch. I have a different perspective on traveling than other people. I want people to be able to watch a G-rated YouTube channel. I don't want people to feel like they have to watch all those YouTubers back in Central Florida for all their content. Don't get me wrong, I love the TimTracker, Adam the Woo, all that, but I don't want people to feel like my YouTube channel is not worth watching either. I do want people to know me. I don't want to be too popular like Mr. Beast to the point where I want to go hide in the shadows all the time, but I do want to be well known enough. I would like to hit 1,000 subscribers at some point. I think that would be so neat. So, anyways, I will see you guys in the next vlog. And always remember, you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Have a great day. Peace out.